Hey guys, my name is Haley and I have not filmed a video in like a month, so that was my bad. I have not been in the mood for filming, and filming this time of year on YouTube is always kind of frustrating, but we are here to do a currently reading, which is really just going to be a wrap up of anything that was not books from the month of November, and then what I'm obviously currently reading, which is not a ton, but we will get into that. I'm basically just going to do a run through of important things that happened. Like, there were a lot of scary movies that I watched in like October and November that I could talk about, but yeah, we're not going to talk about all of them. Or this video will be 35 minutes long, and we're hoping that it's not going to be because I don't have that kind of filming stamina right now. We're basically going to run through shows and a handful of movies and other things that have happened in both October and November because I have a lot to wrap up with my accidental hiatus. So first of all, we're going to start with movies. And my favorite thing that I have seen in the last couple of months was the Dear Evan Hansen movie, which there were so many people that were making fun of this movie and saying it was crap because Ben Platt looks 30 years old. Because he is 30 years old. Me and Ben Platt are the same age. He's like 28. I think he's like a couple weeks younger than me. And I agree, he does look older, but Ben Platt's voice fits Dear Evan Hansen so well because he's obviously the person who originated the role, and I'm very frustrated that that is the reason people didn't like the movie. I took Kate with me, and she doesn't know anything about Dear Evan Hansen other than what she's vaguely heard me talk about over the last couple of years because I've been with the show since before it went to Broadway. And even she really liked it. I liked the changes that they did. I think my favorite scene in the movie, other than You Will Be Found, which is my favorite song and makes me want to sob every time because it's such a beautiful song and message, but the way that they did, like filming wise, the way they did Requiem blew me away with the way they handled Zoe's character, the way they showed each members of Connor's family. Like, I loved that scene so much. Like, my mouth was hanging open during it, the entire song, which I love that song as well, but the cinematography for that song and the way they did show each of the family members' ways of grieving was stunning. I also love what they did with Alana's character. They made her character so much larger in this movie, and I loved it so much. I loved the actress they had playing Alana, which I found out afterwards is the girl that played Rue in the Hunger Games, and I was like, wait a minute, I loved Rue. But yeah, I love this cast. I love the way they showed each of the songs and the scenes, and they kept the heart of the show but did other things that they can't do with a stage with it, which was just all you can ask from a movie musical. And I do not think that Ben playing a 17-year-old completely retracted from the movie because his voice fits the role so well. So there's my unpopular opinion, and I'm not someone that hated the Dear Evan Hansen movie. I actually loved it. Then another movie that I want to talk about, which is one I watched in October, but I just want to talk about it because I feel like I've never get a chance to talk about movies anymore, and this is one that I really liked. And if you didn't know, I used to watch scary movies a lot, especially in high school, like middle school and high school, and I just binged all of the ones I was interested in at the time and then stopped watching them for several years. So there were a couple that came out in those several years that I just missed out on and never saw. And one of those that I had always heard a lot about was Hereditary. And this is apparently one of Kate and Nico's favorite movies, so they had me watch it. And it was so creepy. Like, there were scenes in there that I definitely had seen like memed or in GIFs on the internet. But this has such a creepy vibe. It's very just, you don't really know what's going on, but you're just along for the ride, and there's definitely something wrong like with this family and whatever's going on. And it did such a good job of building the tension and continuing to build it throughout the entire movie, even after like big events happened. I loved it so much. It's probably one of the best scary movies I've seen in several years, so I'm very glad that we watched this. And then another movie that I saw much more recently was Encanto. If you didn't know, I love Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he wrote all of the music for this movie. And I went and saw Moana for the same reason of I will watch anything that Lin has any sort of connection to because I think he's a genius and he's great at everything that he does. So yes, we went and saw Encanto. It was so cute. I loved the music so much. It's such Lin music. Oh, hi, Scoobs. okay. It was such a cute movie. It's very much that cute little Disney movie. I would say if you like Moana, you will probably like this. It's about a magic house that has been in this family for generations and has kept the family safe, and everybody gets a power, and it's about this girl who doesn't get a power and she doesn't know why, and so she's an outcast in the family. It's so heartwarming. It's so cute. The music is so good. I loved it so much. And then speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, I also watched Tick, Tick, Boom. If you didn't know, my favorite musical of all time is Rent. Jonathan Larson is the writer of Rent, and he passed away right before Rent opened on Broadway from an aortic aneurysm. And I have always known that he had another show, but didn't know a lot about it. And I'm just a bad Rent fan, apparently, because I keep saying if Jonathan Larson had gone on and done so much more shows and music and art, I would have, like, he would probably be my favorite composer of all time. So knowing that this movie was coming out, I was like, I'm very interested in that. Knowing Lin was directing it, I was like, I'm obviously gonna watch that because I love Lin. And then knowing Andrew Garfield was gonna be in it, I was very confused, but I was like, okay, sure, I trust Lin with and whoever else is in charge of this movie that's gonna work really well. And Andrew Garfield blew me the hell away in this. Like, it was ridiculous how much he looks like Jonathan Larson. He's got his mannerisms down. He's a very good singer, much better than I expected him to be, not having ever seen him sing in anything before. Like, I know Andrew Garfield from, like, the couple Doctor Who episodes he's in and the Spider-Man movies that he was in. But this musical, it's more, I've described it to Kate, who didn't really understand what the show was about, as I feel like it's more of a song cycle than it is a musical, because it is this guy trying to write a musical and failing each step of the way, and it's about his group of friends. I also loved the way that the group of friends are very, very obviously what the characters in Rent are based on, because that is, I did know that about Jonathan Larson. When he wrote Rent, he based a lot of the characters on his real life friends because he wanted to show a little time capsule of the people that he actually knew, because they weren't being represented in musical theater, let alone in a way like a rock opera like Rent is. And he obviously paved the way for rock operas on Broadway because of Rent. And while the music of Tick, Tick, Boom is very, very different from Rent, you can definitely still hear Jonathan's sound, especially in his lyrics and the way that he does the call and response lyrics, and just the way I always describe Pasek and Paul and the way they do music, and that the music almost feels like you're having a conversation rather than, oh, I am here to sing a musical song like a lot of musical theater. But yes, I loved Tick, Tick, Boom so, so much. The Sunday lunch, I think it's called, scene. I was progressively getting more and more excited, just yelling out Broadway actors' names and cameos in this movie as we went along. And that scene about broke me. I just started going, ah! Like making noises, like shouting out people's names in case, like, who are you talking about? I'm like, there's all of the people here. But no, it was so good. It was such a good movie. I need to watch it again. Not at me saying I'm gonna film not for 30 minutes and then talking about Tick, Tick, Boom for like 5 of those minutes. Yes, we're going to run through all the shows that I watched in both October and November. October, we tried to do spooky shows because obviously we started with Squid Game, because who didn't watch Squid Game in October? It was everywhere and we felt left out and needed to know what it was about. And it was so good. It's such a good show. It's literally the adult version of Hunger Games, even though the Hunger Games is adult. It's a great K-drama. None of the characters are likable, which made it even more fun. And I loved the like scenes and the games that they had to play. They were so intense. We started with like, we watched the first couple and we were like, oh, that was fun. And then we hit like episode 4 and couldn't stop. Like binged the second half of the season in like one day. But yes, I thought this show built tension so, so well. And I just loved the social commentary on just capitalism and issues in both American and Korean societies and the commentary going on there. I'm telling you right now, if America tries, they're already trying to remake like Train to Busan, but if America tries to remake Squid Game for American viewers, I'm gonna be pissed, because that means you missed the entire point of the show. Well, then we watched Midnight Mass, which I'm not gonna lie, me and Kate knew absolutely nothing about it. We didn't even know the premise of it going into it. Nico was just like, you guys are gonna like this. And we were like, okay, why? And so we started it and spent the first 2 episodes trying to make the most bizarre, obscure guesses of what the show could possibly be about. And weirdly enough, a half of those ended up being correct, which was very entertaining for us. And I'm not going to give it away because obviously that's a huge spoiler. The atmosphere of this is great. The culty island off the coast of Louisiana, great. All of the characters, like the character in particular that got me was Bev, because she reminds me so much of people that I actually knew in real life. And it was just the most grating, like, Dolores Umbridge character to ever exist. And I hate her even more because she's so realistic to me and to a lot of people. But I loved this. I thought it was great. I thought the atmosphere was great. I thought even the CGI was really good for a TV show. It was so good. Such a fun show. Very, very fast watch. Also, the religious commentary was A++. It was so good. And then we watched 4 K-dramas in the span of those. Well, watched 3 and DNF'd 1, which I will get to. The first of those... Oh, also Squid Game. That makes 5 K-dramas. The first of those we watched was Lovers of the Red Sky. We watched this while it was airing because we both love An Hyosep. I love him from Abyss, which Kate also loves him from Abyss. She's seen him, I think, in a couple of other things. And he's just a very pretty man, so we watched this for him. This was my first historical drama, and I thought it was really cute. I really liked the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes and all of the fantasy elements of it. Like, it literally starts off with, like, the devil trying to escape from this painting thing, and I was like, this is fascinating already. Are we allowed to talk about the devil in Korea? Because they have a thing against speaking about certain subjects, and so they use, like, reapers and such instead of devils. But no, this was fantastic. I thought it was very fun. We were so early to the finale that we got the, like, almost unfinished version where, like, there was, like, CGI left out of things. That was an interesting experience for a finale. Yes, I just thought this drama was really fun. It was really nice to get the historical drama perspective because I haven't watched one yet, but I enjoyed this one and love An Hyosep, and we'll watch anything that he is in. Then we watched probably both mine and Kate's favorite K-drama, if not second favorite, because we both have really strong opinions. She really likes The King, and I really like Abyss. But this is the closest thing that has ever come to either of those things for us, and that is Black. We started this because we were told that it was the K-drama version of Supernatural. And I was like, is it though? And once we hit like episode 2, I 100% agree. There is a character that starts off in this that I was so intrigued. I was like, is this supposed to be a Castiel character from Supernatural? Because he acted very similar to how Cass does when he comes down into a human body. Cass is an angel. And when I say this is probably one of the most intense shows I have ever seen in my entire life, it's like 18 episodes, which is more episodes than most K-dramas, if not all of them. And you cannot look away from the screen. You cannot get up and get water. Like, you can't not pause it to be able to pay full attention to it. You can't go on your phone. You can't do anything, or you will miss so much information. And I loved it so much. It did pacing so well. It was this bam, 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 fast pacing the entire time. And we spent more than half the show trying to guess what was going on and like putting together characters and such. And it was so good. It's such a fun show. If you don't like K-dramas because you're not into the contemporary romance thing, watch this one. Because that's been my issue with some K-dramas, is I'm just like, okay, the romance is cute, but I also don't like childhood friends to lovers, which is 90% of K-dramas romances of, oh, we knew each other as kids and now we're finding each other as adults. No. That is not a trope that I enjoy in any media, let alone TV. But this one, it did attempt to do that, but like this show was so much not about the romance whatsoever. Like, it was in there because it's a K-drama, but it was so much more about the mystery and what was going on, and like almost this cop thriller thing, but made it way more fascinating than most cop thrillers. And I loved it so much. The supernatural elements were fantastic. All of the guessing was fantastic. The acting was incredible. This is how we found Dongjun, which is an actor that we've been vastly looking for all of his stuff because Kate is in love with him and I just love him as an actor. He's like the second male lead in this and he's adorable. We found his group Zia and like vaguely got into them, and it's just been a really, really fun time. And I'm so happy that we found him from this drama because he is the most adorable puppy dog in this show. And then to decompress from how much brain power that Black took out of us, we went and watched True Beauty. This was a rewatch for Kate. It was a first watch for me. And this kind of ruined my life, but in the best way possible. If you didn't know, the lead of True Beauty is Cha Eun-woo, who is a member of the group Astro, which I have loved Astro for 3 years, and my bias has always been Rocky. That has not changed, don't worry. But like, Rocky is literally up there. But this show was the first time that I fully understood why people are in love with Eun-woo. He's so good in this. He's exactly like my type of dude if you're gonna do the standoffish, like, cold character. And it's so funny to me to see Eun-woo play that type of role, because that is not Eun-woo's personality at all from like any of the Astro content that we have. He's very giggly, cute little soft boy, and they make him this really standoffish, almost cold, like angry, angsty teenage boy. And everybody was like, you're either team Eun-woo or you're team the other boy. Kate is team the other boy. He is not my type at all. I do not like delinquent types usually, but I thought this was so cute, and I thought the girl especially grew on me a lot more as the show went on. Also, nobody talks about how the fact that Channy is in this drama. Like, I know that he is passed away by the beginning of the show, but he's a big part of what is driving both of our male leads. And I've never seen a single fantasy from SF9 anywhere talk about Channy being in the show, and Channy's scenes were so cute. I also apparently had like a hit tweet on this when I pointed out the fact that Suho's guitar has Bin and Sana's signatures on it, and nobody has ever pointed, as much as I heard about True Beauty while it was happening, nobody ever pointed out that they were Bin and Sana's signatures. And obviously they pointed out Bin and Sana's other cameo when you get their Bad Idea postcard when they go album shopping. But yeah, I thought I was super smart and observant for catching that one, and then everybody was like, wait, I never noticed that, and then made a bunch of people rewatch True Beauty. But this was such a cute show. This is probably one of the cutest, like, just purely contemporary K-dramas I've seen ever, and I loved it so much, and I will probably rewatch it eventually. I completely understand the hype. And then we went and attempted to watch More Than Friends, which we intended to watch because it is Dongjun, and we loved Dongjun from Black, and we were like, okay, we'll watch another one of his things while he's in the military. And we got, I think, 3, maybe 4 episodes in before we were both screaming at the TV every time the male lead was on screen. Because again, Dongjun's the second male lead, and if you don't know about K-dramas, there's a such thing as second male lead syndrome, in which they never win. They're never a huge part of the actual lovers situation. And it was so much more frustrating in this because Dongjun's character was adorable and he was the perfect little boyfriend. Like, he was so cute. And this girl was the most frustrating blank wall of a character I've seen in a show in a very long time. And if this was going to make a commentary on how problematic, like, abusive and emotionally abusive and just, like, mean boy, especially in a relationship, it would have been fine, but it wasn't. They were trying to romanticize it and say that this guy who was the absolute worst to her, like, he was so rude. He never said a nice word to her. I have no idea why he even had a crush on her, let alone why she liked him. And they kept trying to romanticize it in the first 4 episodes. And we asked people, we're like, okay, does this get any better? Because if it's going to make the commentary, that's perfectly fine. We will watch it for that. But no, it kept being romanticized the entire time. So what we did was go through and skip throughout Viki of each episode to watch Dongjun's parts, and continued to get annoyed because Dongjun was perfect and this other man was a terrible human being. So we technically finished it by watching just Dongjun's parts. But I hated this. Like, as a drama, it's terrible, but we love Dongjun so much, so we went through and watched everything that he was in. But yes, those are all the K-dramas we have watched in the last 2 months. We just started another one, which will be in the latter portion of this video. Oh no, I've already been filming for 22 minutes. That was not the plan. Then another big thing that has happened for the entire month of November, well, the last 2 weeks of October and the first 2 weeks of November, each Saturday I had tickets to watch Nightmare Time Season 2, which, if you didn't know, Star Kid is my favorite theater troupe of all time. They're probably my favorite human beings of all time. Like, they've been one of my obsessions since I was 14 years old. And this is the first show they've done since last fall, I believe, is when they did the first season of Nightmare Time. And they do it over, like, Zoom, or, like, they use the site Looped. and just do a lot of acting that way, which is obviously a very different vibe from like a live show, but it's what they've had to do over the last year. Like a lot of theater troupes have had to adapt in some way. And I love the storylines of Nightmare Time so much because they're set in the Hatchetfield world, which if you didn't know, my favorite Star Kid musical is Black Friday. That is what this Wiggly doll is from that everybody is absolutely terrified of. I thought about like not putting him in my in my videos after Halloween, and I was like, no, I love Wiggly too much. I can scare everybody year round. But yeah, I love the Black Friday universe, and they had a lot of stories in this season that tied into Black Friday and my favorite characters from Black Friday. My favorite character is Lex Foster. She is the main character of Black Friday, and it's so good. Nightmare Time was so good. I was blown away each and every week, which is really hard to do with me. And it was just great. I loved it so much. It definitely reignited my love for Star Kid, and having that like Star Kid date night every single Saturday night at like 6 to 10 p.m. watching a live stream and like doing live talkbacks with all of the members. It definitely boosted my mood for like a full month, which was fantastic. Oh, we've done music. Let's do that real quick. So Stray Kids came out with the song Christmas Evil. I don't love Christmas Evil, like the song itself very much, but the album has great songs on it. First of all, I love the Domino English version. I know me and Kate have definitely talked about how we love Domino in general and think it's a great song, and we watch the stages all of the time. But the English version is actually one of the better English versions of any K-pop song that I've heard ever, because most of them are terrible, like translation-wise. But this one was so fun. It doesn't change the song too much. I really, really enjoy it. But my favorite song on the album is Winter Falls. It's such a Christmas vibe, but like an emo Christmas vibe. The music video is so cute. Everybody's acting is perfect. Jongin looks like a Grim Reaper. Chan looks adorable. Hyunjin's acting was fantastic. Like, I just loved all of it. The Winter Falls music video is my favorite thing. 24 to 25 was also freaking adorable. That one's much more happy Christmassy. Yeah, I think that's the only like music that has come out in the last little while, because everybody had their comebacks back in like August and October. Okay, we're going to jump it. Oh, I've been filming for so long. This is going to be so much worse to edit. Ooh, I talk too much. This is what happens when I have to wrap up like 2 months of things. But currently reading and currently watching. I am currently watching, what's it called? Our Beloved Summer, which is Choi Shik's new drama, which is one of Kate's favorite actors. I also really like him. I've seen almost everything that he's in. It is unfortunate that this is a summer drama because they obviously had to film it in the summer and it's coming out in December. That feels wrong, but also I'm in Georgia and it's not snowing or feel Christmassy at all, so I guess it's fine. It was literally 80 degrees the other day and I was like, okay, we can watch a summer drama in December. That's okay. This is really cute so far. We've only watched the first 2 episodes. They're the only one that's out. I think they're coming out 2 a week for the next several weeks. But I am excited to see more of Ushik. I haven't seen him in a while. I think the last time we watched all of his stuff was the summer I got into Infinite, which was like summer of 2020. Is that right? Time is an illusion. And then yes, reading. Very little reading has been done. I've been reading the same book for like 3 weeks. And that is Dashing Through the Snow, because I just downloaded like 4 Christmas romances on ebook on my Kindle with full intentions of reading them while I was in Ohio like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I went and saw Joseph in Ohio too. I haven't talked about that. If you follow me on Instagram, you definitely know that. And saw like a couple friends while I was up there with my family for the holiday. But yeah, I intended on reading a bunch of Christmas romances. And that didn't happen. I have started Dashing Through the Snow. I'm like 40% into it and I'm hoping to finish it today because I've been reading it for 3 weeks. But I also have like 2 other random romances that are Christmas romance, and then I have a Jay, who's the author, and I've been really enjoying her books. And I have a book called Not the Marrying Kind, which sounds really cute. She does a lot of sapphic romances, and this one sounds adorable. So those really are my only reading goals for the rest of the year. I don't have many reading goals, and you will see that by my wrap up. I think I've read a single thing this month. And we're like 10 days into the month, so reading is not priority right now. I think I am about to pull the plug on reading for the year, which I've already passed 100 books, so yeah, I think that's everything. Is that all of it? All the books I'm currently reading, all the things that I watched and listened to? Yeah, we did it. But yes, that is everything I have consumed in the last 2.5 months that aren't books. I will be putting up a wrap-up soon. Sorry that the November wrap-up's super late because I don't know how to film anymore, but let me know what you guys have been watching and or listening to in the month of November/December. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.